'tis the season of the massive pile of zucchinis. We've just picked these today, and I'll go home and join the big pile we already have at home. It's just past 7:30 p.m. and on Friday the 15th of August, just popped into the allotment on the way home from work to do a bit of watering. Met Cat down here, and yeah, just a little harvest, and there's more we could harvest, but we're not going to, not today. That's a weekend job. And I'm going to have to introduce my colleagues at work to the concept of a zucchini cake, or two. We'll see. So we've got to get the oven working again at home. It's not functional right now. So yeah, it feels like just yesterday I was talking about planting seeds down here, and now they've all popped up. Well, not quite. So yeah, we've got the nice obvious row of coriander right there. There's some carrots coming in down there, and some more carrots coming in there. Over here, not great. So obviously that was the old coriander seed down either side of this. Nothing's happened there. And in the middle was supposed to be spinach, and there's not much going on. Maybe that's one little spinach right at the end of my fingertip there. Not sure. There have been critters digging in the Chimidarapa bay. You can see the broken soil there, which is annoying. There's maybe some Chimidarapas growing down there, maybe some weeds. Mostly weeds, I think. You can see the Chimidarapas, they have that mustardy look like that down there. And no sign of the spring onions I put in the edges. And the radishes are going gangbusters, which is good to see. So these bigger ones are the earlier planted daikon. And then we've got a row of rocket there. There was supposed to be a row of rocket here. That was a new seed from DT Brown. Not a single one has come up, and that's not the first time. So not happy with them. And these are the Munich beer. Anyway, this is just a quick Friday trip. I don't normally do a Friday video, but I thought we'd do it mainly to talk about the zucchinis. And that's that. We'll crack on home and have some fresh tomatoes with our gumbo dinner.
Shall I move it, or do you want it like halfway in?
Well, I'm videoing right now, so your hand is starring. Yep, okay. So it's what is it? Let me pause this for a second and check. It is 6:15 p.m. on Saturday, the 16th of August, and we have a big pile of cardboard we've brought down, courtesy of our neighbour, who found it somewhere, I think, I'm not sure. She does some property management work for our landlord, so comes across such things around the place. I was in two minds about coming down today, but decided to in the end after looking at the weather forecast. So today's main job is going to basically be to just build these two new low raised beds for the front. I'm going to step into the greenhouse. It's a bit windy, so that's probably been not great for our audio quality there. So as you can see, we've got our two raised beds there, our newest beds, and we've got enough timber now to build two more. Not quite sure where we're going to put these two. I think probably right here next to this one, and down there beyond that one. So yeah, going to knock them together. Now the weather report originally for tomorrow was like this, at least most of the afternoon from midday, bright and sunny, and that was like, well, we're going to have a nice Sunday afternoon down the allotment. And I looked when we got home from shopping today, and it was all different. Grey, just grey all week. Yeah, thus I have changed the plan. Well, that's not true. I was originally planning to come down this afternoon, but it was a long day. We've done some stuff. We installed a new oven at home, went to the Polish shop, went to another shop, went to our Tesco shop, and I got home and I was a bit bushed, and I looked at this weather report and went, oh no. and then decided to come down the allotment and enjoy the sunshine while we've got it. Because if you believe the weather report, we're not going to see the sun again for another week, if we're lucky. I mean, I hope it doesn't really come out that way, but I think there's some weather instability going on, some storm or other again, which is making the forecasts a little bit more less predictable, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to crack on and build these raised beds. But hopefully we'll still come down tomorrow and get a whole bunch done. Today is just the raised beds. Nice laid back little job to enjoy the bit of sunshine whilst we know it's here. Okay, time to crack on with that then. Oy vey. Oh no. I don't know if you can see that very well. See the cracking in the soil? There's been all this burrowing under this section here. So this, in theory, is where I planted my spinach, and there's a straight burrow all the way down the middle there. I'm wondering if something's burrowed under and eaten the spinach seeds. I'm not sure. That looks like one spinach. So there's one spinach right there. This was the old coriander seed either side, and there's not really much sign of it. Maybe one or two I can see that look like there could be corianders down there. This sort of seedling here, that looks like it's probably a coriander. Versus the fresh seed, obviously we got a nice row of coriander there from fresh seed. So it just shows the value of making sure you're not sowing an old seed, or if you are, you're aware of it. There's a few weeds in here because this was covered with this net that I've just put there. The problem with nets is they make the weeding harder. So I'll get these weeds out. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with these this rodent situation. It's becoming more annoying as time goes on, so we need to give some thought to it. I have just spotted another cluster of, they look like little coriander seeds down in that corner. Sorry, seedlings, coriander seedlings. But yeah, what should we do about this rodent situation? I don't know. I'm loath to use poisons or something, but on the other hand, this is no good. Oh well. We'll pat these little tunnels down and pull these weeds out and see how things go. Meanwhile, we have some good work done over on the rest of the plot, which I'll show you now. So there we have it. 2 new beds. Not quite ready yet, but I've achieved the key goal for today, which was to build the frames and get them in place. We've got some soil on the inside that we've got from other parts of the plots. And we'll pile the soil up a bit in there, so that'll help hold them in place. And then we'll get a layer of the well-rotted horse manure, the last of it, which is under this IBC top next to me. And then we've got 2 more beds, which is cool. And then there's probably one more of this style of bed going right here. And then we'll have 5 of them. That's the current plan. We'll see how we go. Obviously, we've got the gate here. So we want to keep that area not too clogged up. It doesn't really matter that that gate opens into a bed, because this gate here, once that's done, will open into the long path that goes up the middle of the plots. So the fact that this opens into this bed won't be too much of an issue. Just because if we open both gates, because we wouldn't normally open both gates, if we open both gates we end up with a really large staging area, basically off the drive. So Cat's fossicked a bit more out of there, which is good. And I managed sort of a stretch goal task, I guess. I nipped out here and got these baseboards, bits of scrap wood that have come from the building these beds and some other projects. So got the there we go, baseboard down there. It's a little high, but we'll actually be putting dirt in the bottom there, so that will get dirt up to the bottom of those boards basically. And then similar over here. Now I've not done the end ones because I need to cut a couple to size to fit that properly, and I'm not going to bother getting the chop saw out, so that's a job for tomorrow. But yeah, we're looking good, happy with that. Nice little afternoon of work. Caught the last of the sun, if you are to believe the weather report. Last of the sun for the week. Hope not. I really hope not. Anyway, Time to head home and bake some zucchini. So what we've done with this low raised bed is part fill it with some of our local pot soil, and I have scattered some lime over that. The main reason for the lime is probably more tradition than science. We won't be growing anything ericaceous in these beds generally, and there's a few handfuls of bloodfish and bone in there as well. So we're making sure this soil is nice and damp before we use it to plant some bean seeds, and then cover it with the well-rotted horse manure, which is under that IBC top there. Okay, for the record, it is about 20 to 4 p.m. on a Sunday. I have no idea what date it is right now. What is it? Yeah, it's nearly 4 p.m. Yeah. On Sunday, the 17th of August. So we'll get these beans in today. We're not planning to do a ton today. Kat is currently flattening and excavating our front entry area, because we've got to put a nice thick layer of wood chip inside those gates that the gates swing over. And we've got the other bed that she's been filling up with soil just behind us. And I'll give that the same treatment as I've given this bed. Okay. It is now 20 past 6, and we're making the conscious decision today to get out of here before it's too late. I was aiming for 5, so we've not done too well, but it's better than 8 to 9 p.m. We have a problem in this corner, which I've mentioned before. There's spider mite. Can you see? Yeah, look at that. There's webs, little mites. They're pretty much done for this pumpkin, and they've been causing problems for our eggplants. And I've looked up a site, something called ladybird.co.uk or something. You can buy predators, but it would be about 24 quid to get the predators in for this time of year, and I just don't think it was worth it. I have done a naughty thing. I've used a pyrethrin based spray on these down this side to try and suppress the spider mite, hopefully. There may be some collateral damage. I will pull these marigolds out, because the marigolds there are also covered in that webby spider mite, so they're going to get pulled out and thrown in the fire. So they may overwinter. That's one of the problems with mites. At the end of the season they'll burrow down, so I want to try and eliminate the numbers as best as possible this year without fully pulling these plants out, because I think they may have a chance of getting us some more fruit. We harvested the rest of the fruit off them today. And I'll probably come down and give this another dose of the pyrethrin midweek, and we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, it's one of those things, and we have done the thing. Look at this critter. How long is that long boy? I can't remember what variety that is. We've got a couple of different bullhorn capsicum varieties in here. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, so I think next year what we'll do is, early in the season, it's much more economical to invest in the predators, which is another type of mite, which will go for the red spider bites and control their numbers, we hope. That's my plan for next year. So yeah, check out this cashmere merch behind me. There are so many fruit on this. Look at that. They're really tasty as well, the merch. Got them from Chili Chump. So yeah, we got some chilies doing good things. I've got to do a harvest of some jalapenos soon, actually, because we've got all these beautiful thick-walled Chili Chump jalapenos. We've got a few plants of them, actually, 3 or 4. So I've got a nice collection of jalapenos I could actually start pickling. So yeah, here's the eggplants. That's what we got from those bushes. Not such a good crop this year. We had a great eggplant crop a couple of years ago. None last year, and something this year. But we'll see what happens with that spider mite control down there. So this has all been watered, as we do on the weekend. One big watering on the weekend, and then another watering midweek is the general plan. And we've harvested lots of tomatoes, which we'll get to in a moment. So big news today is down there, the big news for this weekend. But let's first do a little track around the back of the plot. The chilies are looking good. Again, as usual, I have mentioned them plenty of times. The cat has been weeding down here, so we've got a few less weeds around. These pumpkins are definitely starting to die back in the middle there. And we've actually harvested a couple of the smaller ones from the middle. It doesn't look like they're going to do much else. These potatoes are coming along. Yeah, if we get some salad potatoes out of this, I'll be happy. They were very late planted, very wizened little potatoes. And here's today's harvest. Looking pretty good. Big beetroot. I've harvested the biggest beetroot. There is a plan afoot to make some cake out of that. Probably the cake's probably only going to need one of them, but also they're chunky boys. Some gherkins. So there's another batch of gherkins there. I've got 2 on the go at the moment, so this will be a third little jar of gherkins. And the dill that is what's the volunteer dill that grows right next to the gherkins. How convenient. So a bit of dill there to go with those gherkins. Make some dill pickles as such. Oh, more zucchinis, even more. And the tomato is kind of in full flush now. There's I don't know, 3 or 4 kilos there, I reckon. All the colours of the tomato rainbow. We're going to start drying some of these black cherries over here. And then a couple of pumpkin, a little uchiki curry. And I think that's a Burgess buttercup. But yeah, so this weekend's big thing is these beds, and that was the kind of main job I wanted to get done this weekend, and I can say that it is done. This one has 3 rows of beans planted in it, which I discussed earlier with how we put some fertilizer and stuff and some lime in there, and we gave this bed exactly the same treatment. I have not planted any seeds in this yet. I've got to think about that. It's like almost a bit too early for the winter radishes, which is what I was thinking of putting in there. Probably too late for most other things. Like those beans I just put in behind me. Probably too late for them, but we'll see. So another thing that happened today is a bit more outdoor watering. But an interesting thing is that we made a garlic smoothie. I keep trying to call it a milkshake, but there's no milk in there. It's not a garlic milkshake. It's a garlic smoothie. More of a garlic juice, I guess. We blend it up with some water, sieve out the lumpy bits, and put it across a few watering cans and water it into the ground. And what we're hoping is that will suppress some of this rodent activity if the ground stinks of garlic. We aren't sure. We've done it before and we think it does have an effect. So fingers crossed that will help us with our rodent problems, especially disturbing our young seedlings here. We took the net off this one and put it on over behind me, but I think that is a spinach down there. That seems to be our only one. Some of that old coriander seed is definitely coming up on the sides, but of course our fresh coriander seed here is the star of the coriander show, and there's carrots coming up either side of that. Gave a good garlicky rinse to the kale over there, and even the cucumbers. Hopefully nothing like dislikes having garlic poured on it. We'll see. I think the plants will be okay with a bit of garlic on them. But yeah, no, I'm happy with this. And then a lot of Kat's effort today has been excavating this front area. So we've got quite a fall on the plot towards the gate there. So we're trying to sort of fossick that out a bit, make a bit of a ramp up here. It's quite steep at the moment, but once this area here is filled up 50 mil with what we call it, to wood chip, there'll be 50 mil of wood chip there. That'll flatten this whole area out. And we're putting a cement paver here as the entrance. Right behind me on my left here, that will be another one of these beds, we reckon. Try and maximise the bed space where we can, but obviously that then comes all the way over to here, which looks a bit awkward with this gate the way it is, because you'll be walking straight into a bed, but actually it's this not yet a gate that will become the main gate here. So yeah, that'll be it. And our main entrance will be this gate on the left, walking up that's our straight path straight down there. Not very feng shui approved, I'm sure. Goes straight in the front and looks out the back. Is that good or bad? I can't remember. Maybe it lets the spirits straight through the house rather than getting caught in the house, or do we want them caught in the house? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Oh, and I finished this at the front, so there's that final bit of timbers cut off down there. That's why we've got the chop saw over here, and that final bit of timber there. So there's a little bit of finishing up to do on there. I want to get some vertical bits sort of bridging those gaps there, and there's some more of that thin stuff to put along the top of that one. And this whole front gate area needs completing, and I haven't decided whether to make it more pergola-like with slats across, or to actually put a roof on there so that we've got a nice dry landing area off the driveway. Could go either way. But yeah, it's not bad. It's been a fairly decent little weekend despite the iffy weather. It hasn't been raining. It's the promised full greyness today wasn't quite true. There was a little bit of sun earlier, but it has been pretty thickly grey this afternoon. But that makes it easy for working, doesn't it? Anyway, hopefully we'll have a bunch of beans popping up there soon, and we'll decide what to do with that one. And we have more growing space, and I'm really looking forward to how we'll be able to use this space next season. And of course we've got some overwinter plans happening as well. Righty, that's the end of another weekend. And look, every weekend. Am I ending with this shot every weekend? I call it dinner. Out of focus dinner. But yeah. Pigeons. Anyway. That'll do. Oh. The cat has been plumbing. Is that from the tree down the back? Mm-hmm. There's a tree down the back of the site that's just on the grass. So not a plot. And it's got some nice looking plums on it. I'll eat one of them. Something else has been eating that one. Mm-hmm. I think that must be my lunch. And there we have it. This is the plum tree I was talking about. Wow. That's some proper plum action going on there. Look at that. Yeah. Some of them aren't quite ripe yet, but it is bowing under the weight. The branches are well laden. So that's pretty impressive. There's some apples right next door. So there you go. There's your ingredients for your plum jam right next to each other. Anyway, with that, we shall sign off for the weekend and see if we get down here with some more video on Wednesday. But if not, we'll see you next weekend. CHARD!